Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Morning. And court reporter here. Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Are we ready to go on the record?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, great.
We're on the record.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. It's approximately 10 a.m. My name is Christine Burke. I'm a public utility law judge with the Maryland Public Service Commission. We're here today for two cases. The continuing investigation of the electric fuel cost adjustment charges of the Easton Utilities Commission, and also the continuing investigation of the gas fuel cost adjustment charges of the Easton Utilities Commission. We're going to start with case number 9501S, which is the electric fuel cost adjustment charge, and then we'll proceed to 9502, which is the gas fuel cost adjustment charge. Can I please have the appearances of counsel?
Yes, good morning. Your Honor, Marta Harting here on behalf of Easton Utilities.
Morning. For the Office of People's Counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Diamond Wade on behalf of OPC, and I have with me Brock Miller. I'm trying to figure out what is showing. Can you all see me?
No.
Okay.
I cannot.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Annette Garofalo on behalf of Commission staff. Your Honor, I can't seem to make my picture pop up. Is there something I need to? Can you?
I could hear you and then it went out. I think you muted yourself.
Okay.
There you go. I can hear you.
Right.
Yes.
Annette Garofalo on behalf of Commission staff, and I seem to be not able to make my picture come up. My camera work, so I will. If something speaks to me about how to do that, I'll fix it.
There should be a video button on the bottom left-hand corner of your Zoom screen. If you click that.
Oh, okay, found it. Thank you. Okay.
There you go. With regard to, there were certificate of publication filed for today's hearing on February 4th, 2025, under mail log number 315413, which included the certificates of publication for today's hearing from the Star Democrat, Easton Utilities Commission Facebook and Instagram pages, as well as Easton's homepage. Ms. Marting, do you want to have that marked and entered into the record?
Yes, Your Honor, if we could have that marked as Easton number 1 for identification, and then I would offer that document into evidence.
Okay. Any objection?
No objection.
No objection from OPC.
Okay, the certificates of publication will be marked and entered as Exhibit 1. With respect to Easton's exhibits, Ms. Harding?
Yes, we'll have 2 additional exhibits in 9501, Your Honor, the direct testimony of Tracy Thomas and the direct testimony of John Edward Hines III, both of which were filed. I believe it's docket number 181, and for some reason I don't have the mail log number, but they were filed in the docket in this case. I can get that quickly.
I have mail log 315102, filed on January 23rd, 2025.
That's correct, Your Honor. I apologize. I didn't have that written down.
Okay. And do you have your witnesses are present today?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want to start with Tracy Thomas?
Yes, happy to do that. Okay, Ms. Thomas.
Could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Thomas. Do you have in front of you a document entitled The Direct Testimony of Tracy A. Thomas, Chief Financial Officer for Easton Utilities, dated January 15th, 2025 in case number 9501S.
Yes, I do.
And does that document consist of 6 pages of question and answer testimony, as well as one exhibit consisting of 7 pages and 6 schedules within those pages?
Yes,
Thank you. Now, was this document prepared by you or under your direct supervision and control for the purpose of being your sworn testimony in this matter?
yes, it was.
And do you, before I ask you if you adopt it as your sworn testimony, do you have any changes to make to your testimony today?
No, I do not.
And if I asked you the questions contained in this testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes,
And therefore, do you adopt this testimony as your sworn testimony in case number 9501S?
yes, I do.
Your Honor, at this time, I would offer Ms. Thomas's direct testimony as Easton, exhibit number 2, and offer its admission into evidence in this case.
Counsel for Office of People's Counsel, is there any questions for witness Thomas?
OPC has no questions.
Okay, for staff?
Staff has no questions.
Okay. Any objection to the admission of witness Thomas's testimony?
No objection from OPC.
No objections from staff, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't have any questions either for witness Thomas in 9501S, and her testimony will be marked and entered into the record as Easton's Exhibit 2.
Thank you. And we have nothing further for this witness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our second witness is John Edward Hines. John.
Mr. Hines, could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hines. Do you have in front of you a document entitled The Direct Testimony of John Edward Hines III, the Vice President of Electric and Special Projects at Easton Utilities?
Yes, I do.
And that's dated January 13th, 2025, correct?
That is correct.
And this consists of 9 pages of question and answer testimony. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Hines, was this document or this testimony prepared by you or under your direct supervision and control for the purpose of being your sworn testimony in this case?
Yes, it was.
Do you have any changes to make to your testimony today?
No, I do not.
And if I asked you the questions contained in your testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Thank you. Your Honor, I would ask that Mr. Hines' testimony, direct testimony, be marked as Easton Exhibit number 2.
I think that would be 3.
Oh, I apologize. Easton Exhibit number 3, and we would offer its admission into evidence in this case.
Right. Does counsel for OPC or staff have any questions for witness Hines?
No questions from OPC.
No questions from staff, Your Honor.
Any objection to the admission of witness Hines' testimony?
No
No
objections.
objections.
Witness Hines' testimony will be marked and entered into the record as Easton's Exhibit 3.
Thank you. We have nothing further for Mr. Hines.
And anything further?
No, Easton has no additional witnesses in case 9501.
Okay. And OPC, do you have any exhibits or witnesses to offer?
OPC does not have any exhibits or witnesses to offer, Your Honor.
Okay. Counsel for staff?
Yes, Your Honor, we have 2 witnesses. I'd like to take Mr. Kevin Mosier first.
Okay. Mr. Mosier, could you please raise your right hand? Good morning.
Morning.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Morning, Mr. Mosier.
Good morning.
Do you have with you a document entitled Testimony of Kevin D. Mosier dated February 10th and headed with the number for this case 9501S?
Yes.
Do you have any, was this document prepared by you or under your supervision?
It was.
And do you have any changes or edits that you would like to make today?
I do not.
If you were asked the same questions today that are contained in your testimony, would your answers be the same?
They would.
And do you adopt this testimony as your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
I do.
Your Honor, the witness is available for cross-examination.
Office of People's Counsel, do you have any questions for witness Mosier?
No questions from OPC, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Harding?
No questions for, from Easton. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Mosier, I'm just going to ask you briefly, how do Easton's standard offer service rates compare with Delmarva and BGE for the reporting period?
I believe they're meaningfully lower. I wasn't able to fully calculate them, but I think they're around 7 cents, 7.5 cents a kilowatt hour. Versus, I believe the last time I looked at BGE, I think they were at almost 12.
I'm going to ask for a bench data request for staff, just for a comparison of standard offer service rates with Easton's and Delmarva's and BGE's rates. Ms. Garofalo, did you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Your
Okay.
Honor. We'll
Okay.
comply with that.
Okay, thank you.
And
And if I could just, I can have that by Friday. Would that be
Friday?
too soon?
we'll do our best.
14th? Okay,
We'll do our best.
thank you.
I also would like to have Mr. Mosier's testimony marked as.
Is there any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
Okay. Mr. Mosier's testimony be marked and entered as staff's exhibit 1 in 9501S. Okay,
Staff would like to call Mark Riley.
Mr. Riley, could you please raise your right hand? Mr. There you. Okay, I think you're muted.
Unmuted.
There you go. Okay, great. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Morning, Mr. Riley. Mr. Riley, do you have with you a document entitled Direct Testimony and Exhibit of Mark Riley in case number 9501S and dated February 7th?
Yes.
Now, was this document prepared by you or under your supervision?
Yes.
And do you have any changes or additions or edits that you would like to make at the time?
No.
If you were asked the same questions contained in this testimony today, would your answers be the same as in your written testimony?
Yes.
And do you adopt this testimony as your sworn testimony for the purposes of this case?
Yes.
Your Honor, the witness is available for
Office of People's Counsel have any questions?
No questions from OPC, Your Honor.
Easton?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Either any objection to the admission of Mr. Riley's testimony?
No
No
objection.
objection.
I apologize, Your Honor. Could I have this marked as staff exhibit 2?
Two. So marked, and there's no objection from any of the parties. So that'll be entered into the record as staff's exhibit 2, witness Riley's testimony, direct testimony. Okay. Moving on to case number 9502S. which is the continuing investigation of the gas fuel cost adjustment charges of Easton Utilities Commission. Ms. Harding, I believe there were certificates of publication filed February 4th, 2025 under mail log 315414. Does Easton wish to have that admitted to the record?
Yes, Your Honor, if we could have that marked and admitted as Easton number 1 in case number 9502.
Okay, is there any objection from council?
No objection.
Certificates of publication be marked and entered as Easton's Exhibit 1. And Ms. Harding, your witnesses?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 2 witnesses. We'll start again with Tracy Thomas.
Okay, you're still under oath, Ms. Thomas.
Good morning again, Ms. Thomas. Do you have in front of you a document entitled The Direct Testimony of Tracy A. Thomas, Chief Financial Officer of Easton Utilities?
Yes, I do.
Dated January 15th, 2025 in case number 9502S.
Yes, I do.
And does that document consist of 5 pages of question and answer testimony as well as 1 exhibit containing 6 separate schedules?
Yes, it does.
Was this testimony prepared by you or under your direct supervision and control for purposes of being your sworn testimony in this case?
Yes.
Do you have any changes to make to your testimony sitting here today?
Yes, I have a minor change to the last page of my exhibit, which is Schedule 6. And that is just under where it says Schedule 6, estimated retail sales for the upcoming calendar year. The next line says estimated KWH is based on a 3-year average, and that should say estimated CCF is based on a 3-year average.
Okay. Any other, do you want to make any other change to your testimony sitting here today?
No, I do not.
Okay. If I were to, with that change, if I were to ask you the questions in your testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
And do you adopt this testimony as your sworn testimony in case number 9502S?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Tracy. Your Honor, with that, we would move or offer Ms. Thomas's testimony as Easton Exhibit number 2, including the correction that she just made to the final page of her exhibit. And then we would offer its admission into evidence.
Are there any questions for witness Thomas from OPC?
No questions from OPC, Your Honor.
Staff?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objection to the admission of witness Thomas's testimony?
No objection.
No objections, Your Honor, from staff.
Witness Thomas's direct testimony and the corrected Schedule 6 exhibit will be marked and entered into the record as Easton's Exhibit 2 and case number 9502.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have nothing further for Ms. Thomas. Our second witness is Tucker Bullock.
Morning, Mr. Bullock. Could you raise your right hand?
Good morning.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Bullock. Do you have in front of you a document entitled The Direct Testimony of Tucker G. Bullock, the manager of the gas department of Easton Utilities, dated January 15th, 2025 in case number 9502S?
I do.
And does that document consist of 9 pages of question and answer testimony by you?
Yes, it does.
And was this testimony prepared by you or under your supervision and control for purposes of being your sworn testimony in this case?
Yes, it was.
Do you have any changes that you would like to make to your testimony today?
No, I do not.
And if I asked you the questions in your testimony today, sitting on the stand, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Thank you. And Mr. Bullock, do you adopt, therefore, this testimony as your sworn testimony in case number 9502?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, we would ask that Mr. Bullock's direct testimony be marked for identification as Easton Exhibit number 3. and we would offer its admission into evidence.
Okay. Are there any questions for witness Bullock from OPC
No questions from OPC, Your Honor.
and from staff?
Staff has no questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bullock, do you the current AMA, I think in your testimony said expires in April of 2026. Is that correct?
It is, yes.
When will Easton begin the new RFP process for the new AMA?
In August of 2025, this year.
Okay. And do you anticipate any changes to that process?
I do not.
Are there any questions in light of my question?
Not from me, Your Honor.
Okay. Witness Bullock's testimony will be marked and entered into the record as Easton's Exhibit 3.
And we have no additional witnesses, Your Honor.
Thank you. OPC, any witnesses or exhibits to offer?
OPC has no witnesses or exhibits.
Ms. Garofalo?
Thank you, Your Honor. The staff would like to call Evan Thomas to the stand. Morning, Mr. Thomas.
Good morning.
Mr. Thomas, could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Thomas, do you have with you two sets of testimony in case 9502S? One is the confidential version of your testimony in this proceeding, and the other is a public version?
I do.
Are these two testimonies identical with the exceptions noted therein? That is, certain
Yes.
testimony is redacted in the public version. Was these testimonies prepared by you or under your supervision?
Yes.
And if you were asked the same questions today that are contained in your testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Do you have any changes or corrections you'd like to make at this time?
No.
Your Honor, I would ask that staff's that Mr. Thomas's testimony, the public version, be marked as staff exhibit 1, and the confidential version be marked as staff exhibit 1C.
So marked. Are there any questions for witness Thomas from OPC?
No questions from OPC, Your Honor.
Ms. Harding?
No questions from Easton.
I don't have any other questions either. Any objection to witness Thomas's testimony being admitted from OPC?
No objection.
Easton?
No.
Okay.
Objection.
Witness Thomas's public and confidential versions of his direct testimony will be marked and entered as staff's exhibit 1 and 1C in case 9502S. Did you have another witness?
Yes, staff would like to call Mark Riley.
Okay, Mr. Riley, you're still under oath.
Okay.
Mr. Riley, do you have with you a copy of testimony submitted in this case, 9502S, on behalf that was written by you?
Yes.
Do you have any changes or corrections you'd like to make today to
No.
that testimony? If you were asked the same questions today that are asked in your testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
And do you adopt this testimony as your sworn testimony for purposes of today's hearing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Does OPC have any questions
No questions from OPC, Your Honor.
from Easton?
No questions for Easton. Thank you.
I don't have any other questions. Either any objection to Mr. Riley's testimony being entered into the record?
No objections.
No objections.
Mr. Riley's testimony will be marked and entered into the record as staff's Exhibit 2 in case 9502S. Are there any other issues or anything else that needs to be addressed today? In the parties?
Not for Easton, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. OPC?
None, Your Honor, I have anything.
Staff has nothing, Your Honor.
Okay. I just asked that staff get the response to that bench data request regarding Easton's standard offer service rates in comparison to BGE and Delmarva by February the 14th, and that would be in case number 9501S.
So just to be clear, Your Honor, what you would like is the SOS rates of the major utilities and as compared with
Easton's, correct.
Easton's rate. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, and for everybody's participation today. And we can conclude today's hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.